That sucks. I was thinking about what to say, and I lost like $100 or $200. Cool, G. Yeah. This guy's talking makes sense. A lot of sense. Yeah, so nothing's changed today. Still bumming out here. Got more water bottles. Trading fraternity. But what I'm about to do, I'm going to switch it from this view we got here, you know, this new view, and we're going to go to my trading screen. I'm going to show you guys a clip of me trading. It's going to be on this screen here. I'm going to highlight a few things. You could watch the time on the bottom. Really, it was a 30-minute trade to make $1,000. I did experiment with that $100,000 I just deposited. So, you know, the video is kind of long. It's kind of boring in the sense that you might not understand what's going on. As you guys see, I have multiple screens here, and you know, I could have my trading screen up here, and I could go switch to Twitter, you know, and look up any sort of stock news while still having this. I could put up multiple order screens and stuff, and that's usually what I do. And I'll explain at times during the recording where you could see how he's doing. But usually, you know, like with the Apple, or even Amazon, I could pull up the order screen or pull up the option chain while looking here. So you guys saw the one screen. This was just, you know, I record myself trading. Usually I do a webinar. I do that webinar with my bro. I was waiting on him, so it was early. This was within the first, I think, like hour of the market. I think 10:30. So yeah, 7:30 or like 7:05ish my time. So it was, you know, I only have it on this screen. I was just trading. This is me by myself. I'm not really talking. So again, I'm going to add a voiceover kind of explaining some of the reason and logic. I think that would be helpful, but just so you guys could see kind of what's going on. I exited the trade. For the most part, I took some free options. And yeah, if you're not familiar with that, and even if you are familiar with that, but if you guys want to learn more about this in general, I want to start getting ready to make updates with this video, and I want to do it through that boot camp and through the chat room we got going on. Check the description and join the free stock trading course. So yeah, we'll see here. I don't know what Trump said, but I guess we made some money back. I'm not using my other hand right now to scratch my foot, but yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy it. If the video helps, if you guys like it, give me some feedback, drop a comment, at the very least drop a like, subscription, turn the notifications on so you don't miss any of the video. And yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. I got a lot coming for you, and I'm excited to what we could do with this. Yeah, I'll just talk over the video. We got a lot of video, and I'll forward some, so yeah, let me know. So this is what's going on. It's a little bit before I make my first trade on Apple. I got the Bloomberg in the background, so I left my mic recording this morning so you guys kind of hear what I see. Like I said in the beginning, this was the main one. So I put in an order here, and I put in the bid at 126. I should have highlighted that at you, but highlighted it for you. But then I cancel it right there. You guys could see. And I wait a little bit, and I ended up actually getting filled below 126, which was good. But you're gonna see kind of what happens here. It was kind of dreadful, honestly. So I'm gonna not forward through these parts. I will at some parts, but you're gonna see here after even just canceling the order, I'm just looking back and forth again. I'm looking at like the S&P 500 and other stocks on my other screen, my portfolio in general, seeing how things are moving. But Apple's at an interesting spot here, and you can see, I don't know if it's clear so far, the calls I was looking at were the weeklies, and again, those were very, very risky. I should probably say that right now in the beginning, that I don't know if that was loud in the background, but I should probably say that in the beginning that this was a super risky play, and you know, that's what when I execute the trade, I want you to notice how much money went into this. It was about $6,000, because you guys aren't going to see my portfolio page showing the P&L, but just observe how much is spent. But again, throwing this on a weekly is just absurdly risky, tantamount to gambling. I would not recommend you guys try this. But in general, you guys see again, I'm waiting here. Apple's at a pretty crucial spot, but it was the 22, 50 calls. And I'm waiting to see what price I could get them at. And it's, you guys see, it's a mix of patience, and again, I'm taking advantage of this during the day. The stock was moving, and if you guys look at those options and notice the price they were at given the time, they were a pretty interesting price. So I didn't mention this earlier, but the spreads were widening, and that's what got my attention. That's happening here. So I'm getting ready to purchase. I put in my order. I put in my limit at 124. Actually, it drops. I get filled at 123. So 50 contracts. You could see on the L2, and then there's that notification. I'm executed. It was about like $6,180 for that order. So as you kind of move forward through this video, like I said, because my profit and loss screen's not up there for you, you could just tell based on, the amount of the total proceeds from when I sell it. You could do the math yourself and see, so to get a better idea. But that's just usually a way I look at it as well too. I like to see my net amount I spent and then the net amount I get back, because that's kind of what happens. But like I was saying earlier, what happened that was dreadful in the midst of all this, you notice I just purchased it, and right away, orders came in lower. They're slightly higher now, and I was very surprised to see how fast they gained, value. I was already up a couple $100 almost instantly. Then it starts trading, here I'm at break even. Commissions were like $30, so it wasn't too bad, but you get to see what happens. And like I said, I'll forward through that. The pain develops over time, and it was a really bumpy ride. I ended up, even when I did sell out, I did leave a lot of money on the table, but essentially, this is, I'm going to also explain the strategy. You're going to see, we'll fast forward to those parts as well. But essentially, what I want you guys to be able to take away from this video, this is the time frame. It's taking advantage of both, the volatility and earnings potential provided by options. Again, this was very risky. I don't think you should try this on your own, and with such large amounts. Again, different people, different risk assessments, different income levels, all that. So be careful too. This, like I said, this is gambling. But you could learn, what you could take away from this is, what is potentially there, and the times to sell stuff, implied volatility, and how all that's working when it's working in your favor, and just the contracts and working these in general. You could paper trade and experiment with these as always, but again, you see right here now, contracts already dropped below what I paid for. About I paid what, about 5 cents on 50 contracts, so I think that's like $250 or something. And it's crazy because it goes down more, it starts to add up. I think I was down a little bit more. I was surprised again how quickly I lost money on it, and like that, again, that's the dreadful part. Essentially, I don't think it happens right away, but in a few short minutes, I don't think I'm going to talk through it, but I start to go down, and I actually ended up going down to the point where I lost. I was down about $900 something at the most. So maybe I'll keep it here, and maybe I'll keep talking. Again, like I said, I don't think I'm going to fill up the time, but maybe now I'll explain kind of the strategy I used, and we'll get to that point. I think I'll explain that, and then I'll fast forward to that part exactly so you could see it. But what I'm doing, in this case, I'm sure a lot of valid questions came up. Why didn't I sell? Did I have a stop loss? And, I think that's two valid questions you could ask, and you could see it from observing here on the screen, because my first screen, this is that screen you're watching, although I'm looking at other things, I don't have a stop loss set. I'm looking at, I'm pulling up other screens, but for the most part, I do not have a stop loss set where I'm, a certain amount I'm going to cut out, especially with this big amount. Maybe, is that dangerous? Yes, especially if you're starting out, but I don't like to give any indication. I have a rough amount set in my head, how much I'm willing to lose, but usually when I buy a contract, I'm willing to lose all of it, because that is expected when buying a contract. I'm not factoring to try to take profits. If I'm spending $1,000 on an option contract,
I'm expecting to lose $1,000. What happens from there is separate, so that's how I'm factoring it when I trade. And I encourage you to look at it like that, because options are that risky and you have that much of a potential to lose. So you got to be careful when it comes to that. But that was one thing. But the next is, why didn't I sell now? Because when we're looking at where the stock is now, the option, it's down to 111 on the bid. It hit now 107 on the bid. If I wanted to sell, I believed at one point, I think that was around 109, or I think it barely hit $1. And I did consider selling, because I was like, all right, this, I was like, why, I was like, this is stupid. You guys saw me talking. I did want to, experiment and play around with some bigger options, and I wanted to show you guys, but I was just like, man, this is crazy. This has been minutes. So why didn't I sell though? Because just the opportunity. I did reconsider, and, I hate it because that happens a lot of times where, I'll buy something, and then shortly right after I buy it, I get that buyer's remorse, and it's usually when I buy too short term. So I did buy a very, very short duration, which again kind of spooked me out and made me start to, why didn't I get a long one? And I was thinking, cut it out and do that. But pretty much I said, okay, even though I'm down, $1,000, it seems like a lot, because I did put down 6,000. But I said, we'll keep it absolute worst case scenario. I'm going to keep it at 50% and cut it. But usually, like I said prior, I would want to lose all of it. In this case, though, I wasn't really down with losing the 6,000 fully. I was down with losing half of it, just because, well, yeah. So, and you could even see now during this whole process, I think this is actually cool to note. You just see I'm going over different stuff. I'm looking at other plays. I'm looking at NVIDIA. I'm looking at other potential plays. I'm even thinking of potentially hedging the play and go from there. So I'm just going to fast forward through here, and like I said, it's just on this one screen that I have on my trading screen, but you guys are going to see kind of what I'm doing. A lot of what I do is just literally I'm looking at Apple. I have the option chain up. I have another order entry form for another option I have up. I'm looking at other stocks. I focus on NVIDIA. I get distracted. I look at other Tesla, AMD, and I remember even trading, I was saying that to myself, I was like, I can't get distracted and start looking at all this stuff when I have a pretty big play open. So you see me just go back and forth, kind of always circling back around to Apple, keeping an eye on stuff, watching it at these pivotal points. But you see, it's pretty bad, because going over editing this and looking through this, I'm like, man, this takes forever. But in the moment, it goes by so quick. It's crazy. This is at 20 times pace. I'm forwarding it, and you see, I'm just sitting there this whole time. I'm clicking through, watching, waiting, clicking, going, and so it's cool to see how it develops here into this whole trade. So kind of fast forwarding through this time, we're going to be approaching the time where I start to sell. Remember, I already put the 6,100 in, and now at this point, what I'm really looking for is the time now to get an idea of, is it a good time to sell? And I start to get a gauge for that. You could see from here, because then I start to pull up the order history, or the options order form. You're gonna see, I'm gonna pull it up right here, and I start to see how much I could get for this option. So in this case, where are we at? I see it edging up. I go sell the close, and I see I could get 6,200 if I sell 49 of them. So again, I'm trying to see, and I'm not selling yet. I'm just getting an idea of, okay, this is what I could make for it if I sold this many contracts. How much would it be? What I'm trying to do now is this main strategy. When I get to it, is I've put down a lot of money. It's gained equity. It's gained value really quick. What I want to do is sell back enough contracts to get my $6,100 that I put down on the table, and get the rest back. So now I'm seeing 49 contracts. Price of the options go up. I'm seeing, okay, at the bid, I could get $6,400. It's still not what I want yet. And again, you see, I have the stock itself. I have the options order form, a quick order form ready to go. And then I'm just watching the stock and seeing and waiting while, pretty much keeping an eye here on the bid, and that bid size and ask size on that options order form. So I don't really get the price I want. So fast forward here, I wait a little bit. It's about 3-4 minutes. And now stock rips up. I do the same thing again, where I try to check my order real quick. And if you go back and look here now, the difference is the amount of contracts I'm doing. At first I did 40, saw how much. Now I have 45 contracts. So remember last time it was 49 on the first ever time, about 3 minutes. So now I'm saying, hey, contracts have appreciated. If I sold 45 contracts, what could happen? And then boom, you know, it's kind of even crazy now thinking about this, because I already executed that trade. If you look in the bottom right, I sold 45 at $1.41, I believe, or $1.40 flat, and I kept 5 of them. So, but it's crazy to think about. Just trying to explain this to you guys right now in this whole process, it happened faster to do this than to, you know, explain it, which is kind of crazy. I think it's even running out of time now, but you guys see how fast it happens. I encourage you to go back and see how fast I put in my first order. I see how many contracts I could get for it. I cancel, and then boom, within seconds, I'm not even speeding it up there. I've already executed the trade and I'm out, and then I'm done, you know, and boom, you know, I got to net the profit of, in this case, it's an interesting one, because at the end of the day, how much did I realize? We'd have to go back and see. I think I might just play the replay for you, but I ended up selling it for about like $6,600. So at $1.40 for 45 contracts, you know, do the math, I'm walking away with about $500 above the $6,100 I paid. But now I have 5 of those same contracts still, and they closed today worth about like $1.80. So it's almost about another $1,000. So it's like a $1,500 gain. At that point, it was just $1,000 quick profit. At that price point, I could have sold and I would have been out. So it's, again, crazy to think how fast it is. You got to operate and take advantage of it quickly and go about through this. But again, too, with a big amount like this, one part of the strategy you guys are seeing, and this is how I think I'm going to be trading with that 100K, is very, very large positions up front. And even though I'm getting smaller gains, like this is only a 15% gain, you guys see me shoot for the 30%ers, you know, from there now I could go and expand, make a trade, get free options, sell out, get my initial, and then still hold a good amount of free shares. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, so it's pretty much, you know, the rest of the day it's just me trading. It's going to run out here on the screen going through. Yeah, I don't really do much. I do look back and forth to see. I'm holding the rest, but I decided I'm going to at least hold those till the end of the day. But yeah, the clock just runs out here, and that's pretty much it. You know, I just made the money. Quick Apples trade. It's a big amount. Obviously, you guys aren't going to be using a big amount like this, like $6,000, but you could see the trade I identified, what you guys could do. And I didn't even talk about the logic behind this trade. So I think I will, but I just, you know, I don't want to keep dragging this on. This video is already 20 minutes long. I think we'll make that in a part 2 off of one of the secondary plays, because the logic behind Apple is linked to a few of the other plays I made, and I still came out pretty well today. So I'll go over those in other videos, and you'll see why I made these and how I used Apple as that vessel to be profitable. And then, you know, look at the price of those options. Those are still on the market now. You guys could still look, go test and take a look at what I did and just go from there. So I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. If this helped in any way, shape, or form, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop a like. And yeah, let me know what you guys want from me. I love y'all. Peace. Oh, and check out the free stock trading course. Description. Bye-bye.